This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the cartoon Marsupilami. Hooba! What's up, Joel?
Oh, nothing much, Andrew. What's going on?
Is Marsupilami supposed to be a marsupial? Or is that just a happy coincidence?
He is actually supposed to be like three things into one.
Oh, really? All I know is that he's French.
Yes. Oh, oui.
Get ready to hear that accent a lot. So, I don't have much memory of this one.
Dude,
I had
never
the game
knew this
for the
was
Sega
a thing.
Genesis.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Let me ask you then. As a kid, did you just think this was some video game that just came out of nowhere, like about a character out of nowhere?
I vaguely remember watching Marsupilami. And
really?
so, but yeah, just like not a lot.
Okay.
Because if I remember right, this is not on a channel that most kids would go to for Saturday morning cartoons.
A
little bit. So
it
like,
was.
I feel like I don't really remember much of it.
I didn't even know this was a thing. I really, when you sent this to me, I thought you were trying to send me the word marsupial. And I was just like, what? Why is Andrew sending me a badly spelled marsupial with a question mark?
Yeah.
I was so confused.
But yeah, we needed a show. And I was like, you know what? I got Marsupilami on the brain. It's marsupial and salami. I mean, it probably means something else in French, but here in the US of A, that's what it means to me.
Salami, marsupial.
Yeah, a salami-made marsupial.
We make salami from it. That's what it's about. It's a hard salami made from a marsupial, just on wacky adventures.
Starting to get hungry. Well, that's enough waffling. Let's review that theme song, shall we?
Let's hit it.
Marsupilami coming running through the jungle, got the tail to tell we'll have a swinging time singing Hooba! 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 Marsupilami.
It should have ended.
Yeah, it should have ended.
Like
right
that
there.
down point they had, they should have ended it there. It would have been fine.
Yeah, it'd have been.
Why?
now it's too long.
We've entered that territory where you're just like, all right, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
It's still going in.
It's still going.
What?
I don't want to have a fun time singing Hooba after this song. I actively don't feel like saying Hooba for fun.
You're just like, you know what? You've killed it. I feel like if I heard it once, I would repeat it.
Yeah.
But now I'm 30, done.
Yeah, 30 seconds would have been way better. I don't know. I don't super duper hate it. It is very jarring. It's very irritating.
3. I'll give it a 3.
I was going to go with 4, so we're like relatively on the same page.
Yeah.
So, Joel, how did this get made?
Oh, buddy Andrew, buckle in. We kind of got a pretty crazy story for
really?
you.
Okay.
Not too much craziness, but enough to make it interesting. Let's put it like that.
All right.
So the series that I feel like most of the listeners tuning in would be familiar with is the one that originally aired in 1993.
Right.
13 episodes, one season. This was actually originally aired on CBS, done by Disney. It is a collection of another show known as Raw Tunage.
Bad name.
Yes.
Bad name for anything.
Yes. So this was a I don't even know how to describe Raw Tunage. It was a show that just introduced a bunch of different characters that Disney did again, I guess just to generate traction. Find out what characters were clicking, and then bam, give them their own show.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the character Marsupilami is actually a comic book character, Andrew. A French-Belgian comic book character.
Ooh, croissants and waffles. I don't know how Belgian people sound.
No. Heated.
I think that's Swedish people.
I don't know, man. So this was created by Andre Franquin.
Andre Franquin.
Originally first issued 1952. This is a old character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Name. Okay, so his name is actually a combination of marsupial,
Okay.
Pilou Pilou, which was a French name for a character called Eugene the Jeep,
Oh.
and Ami, which is French for friend.
Okay. So he's a marsupial friend.
And loosely based off of it, Eugene the Jeep.
Eugene the Jeep. Was Eugene a Jeep?
I guess Eugene was a Jeep. Hang on, Eugene the Jeep. Oh, a character in the Popeye comic strip.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually kind of looks very similar to Marsupilami. So, but really, he created these characters, made a comic, was really big over there, and to the point where he started getting multimedia franchise opportunities. Animated series was one of them. They did it, and they aired this thing almost everywhere, man. I know I was able to find multiple different language intros, and none of them were good.
Damn. Okay.
There was one that was like a slow jazz intro, and it was the oddest thing. It did not keep up with the pace of the animation, let me tell you.
Yeah, just quickly about, you're talking about the 2000s French show?
What 2000 French show?
Of Marsupilami.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm talking
sorry,
about...
I've totally blanked out. What did you say? You can edit this out.
No, I'm talking about the original version, the one that we're kind of familiar with.
Okay.
They put that all over the world.
Oh, okay.
In so many different countries, to the point where I think I originally watched like a Dutch intro.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, are they speaking another language? And then the next intro I found was actually a Spanish intro. And I was like, what is going on? Why can I not find the English intro to this show?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's the creation. Disney just looking for something new, because you got to think this is 92, 93, especially with like their like television animation department. They are looking for something that's going to be big. You know, something that's going to be the next Chippendales.
This guy is everywhere across the pond. A wax figure of Marsupilami was manufactured and exhibited at the Musée Grevin, a museum displaying realistic statues of famous personalities, along with two other famous Franco-Belgian comic book characters, Tintin and Asterix. Which I know Tintin and Asterix too. They're also not popular here. There's a statue in hopefully I'm saying this right. It's in Belgium, but it's Middelerke. I don't know. There's an asteroid named after him.
Oh, God.
98494 Marsupilami, discovered by French astronomer Jean-Claude Merlin in 2000.
What the hell?
Yep.
This is one of those characters that never made it big in the U.S., but everywhere else, man, it's like it's soccer. It's soccer.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. It's soccer. Like, nobody here gives a... There's like a handful of people who love soccer here. And it is football everywhere else. We're not that dumb of Americans. I do know that. I've never understood... Well, actually, I do know why football is called... Like, our American football is called football because the ball is a foot. Like,
there you go. That's why
it's a foot long. It's a foot long ball.
That's what I've always heard.
Yeah,
that could just be one of those urban legends.
Somebody, I've never measured a football. I just kind of took someone's word for it.
He
was wearing a jersey. He seemed like he was on the up and up. So
had a helmet, shoulder pads on, football and one
arm. The ball's a foot, bro. Don't think too hard about it. And he patted me on the back and just walked off. Football makes more sense for soccer, though. They play it with their feet.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes 100% sense.
So, it's weird how much Marsupilami is like just around everywhere but here. Still, to this day.
No, you would be hard pressed to find somebody that would remember that name of that character. But Andrew, did they... So what kind of American voice actors did they get?
Well, you said it was Disney, so you already got to know one guy who's going to show up. Jim Cummings.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If there's an animated Disney property, that man's getting some work for sure.
That man's getting paid. He's getting in that shadow.
Jim Cummings is Maurice and Norman. Steve McCall is Marsupilami. Samuel E. Wright is Sebastian. More on that in a second. Jason Marsden is Snookums. Frank Welker is Meat. And Brad Garrett is Eduardo. Now, some of those characters I mentioned are actually part of the raw tunage block because
correct.
The way they did these blocks, and we could go out of our way to cover them all individually, and we may very well. But I know that a lot of the two that I just mentioned, they are very much connected with Marsupilami in his block.
Yep.
So for their other works, we have Jim Cummings is Jumbo Grunch and Bun Killa.
Okay, you had to go pretty deep for that one.
Not super far. Steve McCall is Fox Kids Digimon announcer in Digimon Digital Monsters.
Awesome.
Samuel Wright is... He's Sebastian in a lot of stuff, but he was
Okay.
also Kron in Dinosaur, the really weird 2000s dinosaur movie, the Disney one.
Yeah.
Jason Marsden is Max Goof. Frank Welker is Nibbler in the Futurama series, the one that just came back too. So,
Ooh.
yeah, Futurama came back like a week or so ago. It has the same problems it did when it was on Comedy Central, so don't expect for it to break the mold. And Brad Garrett is the Kraken in Camp Coral, the SpongeBob's Under Years.
Okay.
Steve Hindenburg's rolling in his grave with that one. So that's
Nickelodeon's cashing in, though.
oh man! So, before he died, they were like, he was like, I don't want any spinoffs of SpongeBob, and they're like, sure, and all that meant is there was a timer of them just waiting for him to die.
You know there was a board meeting before that where everyone was just like,
before
okay.
his body was even cold, man.
It was like, okay, guys,
Fucking ruthless.
how long?
Producers are
How long do we
ruthless.
wait?
Look at the writer's strike if you need any more proof of how ruthless those motherfuckers are.
Yeah.
It's all about that dollar bill, y'all. So let's talk about Marsupilami. So Marsupilami was in a block, and it was sandwiched between... So you had they were 6-minute episodes. It's very strange. Yep. The best way for me to describe Marsupilami, I don't think his personality matches his French counterpart.
Okay.
Because I, on accident, I watched a ton of the 2000s cartoon before I realized I was like, I don't think I'm watching the right one. So
I don't think I understand what they say.
no, it had English. It had English,
Okay.
at least season one. So Marsupilami, the one that was in 93, it's kind of like if Yakko Warner didn't have the dot or... Wait, it's Yakko. Yakko's the talking one. Why? How did I make that mistake? It's got yak in the name. So, yeah, he's kind of like a trickster kind of guy. And for a little bit, in the French one, Marsupilami is like that too, but he's more quiet. This guy's like a wisecracking, jokey guy. You like Yakko Warner. He's got his big gorilla friend Maurice and his super scared elephant friend Stuart. You got a jungle guy named Norman. That's pretty funny. He's always trying to industrialize the wild. Marsupilami thwarts him. I'm pretty sure he was made for this cartoon because Marsupilami's real villain is Eduardo the Jaguar.
Ooh.
But you gotta have a human guy, I guess.
Yeah.
You gotta have a big dumb guy for Jim Cummings to voice. Luckily, he had a gorilla and Norman, so you get two big dumb Jim Cummings guys. So
Excellent.
Lucky for you, I guess. So in a way, this was sandwiched between Sebastian, which was the Little Mermaid spinoff before Little Mermaid, the animated series. It was about Sebastian thwarting the chef from that one scene in the Little Mermaid.
Bit.
He just sings about cooking. So, but it's just a bunch of him saving his ass.
And
then there was also a Schnookums and Meat cartoon, which was basically just cat and dog cartoon doing basically the normal cat and dogs are different type tropes. So there wasn't anything new there. There wasn't really anything new with Marsupilami. Nothing that you couldn't watch from a better, more recognizable character, especially in 93.
This was not. It was not a fun show to me.
To you?
Like, yeah, I don't know. It was.
Yeah, it hit a little flat for me as well. There wasn't. It's Disney animation, so you know they're going to throw some money about it. But the whole thing just felt like, I'm trying to think of the right word, but the whole thing just felt like they really wanted this guy to be a franchise in the States. It's a lot like when Hollywood picks a guy and like we collectively as it's what they did with Shia LaBeouf is the best example of this. But like we all collectively go together and be like, we don't want this to be the guy. And then they're like, yeah, but he's in Indiana Jones now. He's going to be the new Indy. And like us as the audience is like, if that fedora touches his fucking head, we're going to burn that studio to the ground. But it's like that. They were like, you want Marsupilami. And we're like, not really. And they're like, but he's fun and he's got a long tail. And I'm just like, is he fun? His tail is long. I will give you that. And they do marginally creative things with his tail.
Are you telling me that Disney at some point wanted us to believe something so bad like, this is the guy? This is the guy.
Yeah.
Still up to their old tricks.
Yep. They still do it. I mean, it's not like it's anything new that Disney buys a property. They've just gotten to the point where I guess they have enough money to buy the big boy properties. That's how they got like Marvel and Star Wars. But I mean, it's not like this is new. They've been trying to buy like something marginally popular comes somewhere, or a foreign market will make like a crazy good indie movie, and they'll come over here, they'll buy the rights to it and bludgeon it to death with money and producer nonsense, and then anyone who watched the original will go, oh cool, this'll be the movie I like, but like with that Hollywood glitz and glam. And so you got their tickets, and then you got the people who, and then like they only need that one weekend.
Yep.
Before the word of mouth goes, this shit sucks, don't watch it.
Don't watch it. Yep.
So, but with television series, it's different. Like, you buy it.
True.
You can watch one episode and be like, I'm not doing this. There wasn't a lot of hate watching like there is nowadays.
Well, you couldn't do that. You know, you was forced to watch what was ever on TV, or you
had a skate. It's like, you wanna watch this because it sucks? I'm like, no, something else is good on another channel. Look, now you can hate watch something and watch something you like later. Just, I'll put that shit on my list. I'm gonna go make fun of this shit. That's this show. Good God, that's this show. that's
you know how
that's the whole premise of our show.
How bad a cartoon's got to be for a kid in the 90s on a Saturday morning to be like, no, I'm not going to watch cartoons. This show is on. I'm going to like go outside.
Yeah, that this seems like this seems like a go outside cartoon.
Yeah, I feel like
the
this
show
was,
you want.
Exactly. Yeah. No, this was not one of those. Oh, I'm so excited. This had to be a. I'm changing the channel or doing something else for the next, 15, 20,
it was a
30
buffer.
minutes.
It was a buffer show for sure.
But Disney really cashed in with, I'm guessing honestly, they probably didn't even have any rights to some of the international stuff. So who knows? Maybe Disney never cashed in on this.
Yeah, maybe they did. They did make a movie.
Okay.
A live action movie. This came out in 2012.
Oh.
It is a French film. It is called Huba, On the Trail of the Marsupilami. It is only in French. We may do a live action landfill if there are subtitles. Otherwise, I don't know how to I don't know how we're gonna like convey what we heard because I don't know French.
I hope their storytelling is so great that we can just kind of, pick up on it without having to speak the language.
Maybe I don't
doubt
know.
it. But
I haven't really watched any French films.
I imagine.
Have you ever watched a French film?
No, but isn't that the joke that like French? Well, isn't there a joke where like French films are all just like in black and white, silent?
A clown smoking a cigarette kind of deal?
Yeah, make no sense. What if it's like that?
This seems to be in color, but only time will tell.
Yep.
So I guess it's time to go to your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that are King of the Jungle and reviews that are Marsupilami.
Ooh, nice.
Thanks. Now
Andrew,
I felt like that was a shaky dismount.
No, I stuck the landing.
Marsupilami or Marsupilami?
I like the first one. That was
me too. I don't want to use the word Marsupilami ever again. It sounds vaguely sexual, and I don't like it.
No. So I could not find a low review this week.
Really?
Yeah, just a 10 out of 10 for you guys. This one is titled, I Love This Cartoon. It's Awesome. The reason why I love this cartoon, it keeps my mind off of Sonic. You see, Disney's Marsupilami was an NBC TV Saturday morning, while ABC TV Saturday mornings had Sonic Sat AM. Also, I love Marsupilami hanging out with his gorilla friends, Maurice, and also I never seen Marsupilami have a wife or kids. Only a purple gorilla sidekick named Maurice. Also, I love it when Marsupilami can say other things besides Hooba. And I knew Marsupilami can speak like a human. I used to love this cartoon show. It was a hit in the 90s for Saturday mornings. It was better than Sonic. It was a blast from the past. The Disney version of Marsupilami is way better than the marathon version.
Yeah, I was about to say, he must have, we can briefly talk about it, but he must have watched the 2001. Because the 2001 actually lines up more with the French comic. He does not speak. That one is actually easier to find than the 93 one. I had to work to find that 93 one. 2001's a lot easier to find. But yeah, he only says Hooba. It's more like Tom and Jerry. And like they have a few human characters show up every once in a while to like do some dialogue and story, but for the most part, it's like Eduardo chasing Marsupilami.
See, so, I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's also like Disney a full 22 minutes, like established cartoon. It's also animated a lot better.
Yeah.
Than the 93 one that we got. So I could see how somebody with nostalgia for one and not the other could make that claim that the 93 one is better, that because he's a wisecracking. Oh yeah, and he has a family. Like he's got 3 kids and a wife.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Like I said, I've got no love for Marsupilami, but I've got no hate for him either. Like he's just he had a pretty good game for the Sega Genesis. That's all I know. Really.
I just wish I could get back that 1 hour of my time that I watched nothing but that. Just give it back.
Would you say that's your closing thoughts on Marsupilami?
Yes. Yes. On my deathbed, I'll be sitting there saying, like, I wish I had just one more hour.
Mr. Reaper, just give me one more hour so I can say I didn't waste it with Marsupilami. Death waits for no man, Joel.
I know.
For me, I'd say the 93 one's okay. It is what it is. It was part of it. The raw tunage block was basically, you call it how it is. It was the weaker cartoons being put together to just because they were probably already made.
Yeah.
But they knew they couldn't stand on their own. So they put them in this like block and then they let it ride so they could get some money. But yeah, I believe that covers Marsupilami, both 93 and 2000. So look at that. If you would like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier that gets you bonus episodes, extra audio episodes. What do we say? You'll have to subscribe and find out. Access to our Discord, stickers, and pins. We have a website, cartoondumpsterdive.com. There you can request a cartoon, anime, 2 cartoons go head-to-head in a junkyard brawl, someone for us to interview. It doesn't matter who it is. We'll open it up to anyone, but we're going to ask them about cartoons. We'll even talk to the President of the United States. Be like, Joe Biden, what were cartoons like when you were a boy in 1903?
And he'll be like, I like ice cream.
He'll be like, look at my leg hairs. Oh my,
like, what?
Mr. President, please. We have a Twitter handle CartoonDD. We have an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads, all Cartoon Dumpster Dive. If you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. And as always, we appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice so we can be popular somewhere other than Europe. Have a great rest of your week.
See ya.
We're not popular in Europe either, by the way.
No, but gotta get popularity somewhere.
That's right.
This has been a Lughole podcast.